Our last award this evening is the special award given at the discretion of the Society of London Theatre.
This year, it recognises a giant of musical theatre, and to show us why this man has made such a huge and lasting impression during his long and varied career, please welcome, singing Being Alive from Company, Adrian Lester.
What? You think I haven't looked at all that? At marriages and all that? And what do you get for it? What do you get? Someone to hold you too close. Someone to hurt you too deep. Someone to sit in your chair to ruin your sleep.
That's true, but there's more than that.
Is that all you think there is to it?
You got so many reasons for not being with someone. But Robert, you haven't got one good reason for being alone.
Come on, you're on to something, Bobby. You're on to something.
Someone to need you too much. Someone to know you too well. Someone to pull you up short, to put you through hell.
You see what you look for, you know.
You're not a kid anymore, Robert. I don't think you'll ever be a kid again, kiddo.
Hey, buddy, don't be afraid it won't be perfect. The only thing to be afraid of, really, is that it won't be.
Don't stop now. Keep going.
Someone you have to let in. Someone whose feelings you spare. Someone who, like it or not, will want you to share a little, a lot.
What does all that mean?
Robert, how do you know so much about it when you've never been there?
It's much better living it than looking at it, Robert.
Add 'em up, Bobby. Add 'em up.
Someone to crowd you with love. Someone to force you to care. Someone to make you come through. Who'll always be there, as frightened as you of being alone.
Robert, and make a wish. Want something. Want something.
Somebody hold me too close. Somebody hurt me too deep. Somebody sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive. Being alive. Somebody need me too much. Somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Make me alive. Make me alive. Make me confused. Mock me with praise. Let me be used. Vary my days, but alone is alone. Not alive. Somebody cloud me with love. Somebody force me to care. Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage Sir Cameron Macintosh.
Thank you, David. Very nice, David. Thank you. He's a lovely boy. So, when I was asked to come along, say a few words about Stephen, I thought, gosh, that's jolly nice. But then I started to wonder. I thought, how on earth do you describe adequately a true legend? Because he's used every word in the English language up himself so brilliantly. Far greater minds than mine have dissected his work, written numerous books and essays. Indeed, Steve himself has just written probably the best book I've ever read about how you write in the musical theatre. 35 years ago, I first met Steve, and he gave me two gifts. One was Side by Side by Sondheim, which introduced me and the London audience to his extraordinary work. And the other, even more valuable, was his friendship. And since then, I have been privileged to observe firsthand his unique theatrical muscle, linking the golden age of the American musical with the resurgence of the British one. His sense of theatrical adventure knows no bounds. His subjects, tackling everything from low comedy to high art, grisly murder to weekends in the country, has showed us all no subjects are taboo. Now, most people consider Steve the finest lyricist alive, but a few think his music can be a bit difficult. But the truth is that most music that lasts was thought difficult on first hearing. And now, not a moment of a day goes by without someone, somewhere, singing one of his extraordinary songs like we just heard sung so beautifully just now. Indeed, sometimes it's quite hard to avoid them. He said something to me this afternoon, which, as I stood on the stage tonight, was interesting, that he reminded me that all those years ago when we first saw Sweeney Todd on this very stage, it was not embraced by the critics, or indeed much of the public, and only ran a few months. And yet, only a few years later, that show was recognized by everybody, including the critics, as his masterpiece, and comes again and again. And I'm sure by the time Michael and Imelda open in Chichester, every single seat for that season will be sold out as we see this wonderful show again. I'm involved with Music Theatre International, that's Steve's publisher. So I see every year that more and more of his productions get done by more and more companies. I mean, it's an ever-increasing graph. And I remember one day saying to him, you know, it's extraordinary. For as long as musical theatre is ever performed, your shows are just going to be done more and more and more. And he just looked at me and said, so I see. I get the cachet and you'll get the cash. But for all his brilliance and imagination, still is still a Broadway baby at heart. All he wants to do is put on a successful show, and he will write and rewrite until it's as perfect as possible. He's also one of the most down-to-earth men you will ever meet. He's a delicious raconteur, a hilarious gossip, and just great fun to be with. He'd much prefer to have a chat and a drink than read a book, and he really is a very emotional man who is often convulsed in laughter and can cry uncontrollably. In fact, if you've ever sat next door to him in the theatre when he's about to cry, for God's sake, take a mop and a bucket. He's a wonderful teacher, and I was very lucky to have him be the first professor of my chair at Oxford, where he's a fierce, fierce champion of new talent. He's kind, he's loving, he's caring. He's lent his name and support to so many people and so many causes. Awards don't always do what they say on the label, but on this one it does. A special award for a very special man. So it is with immense pleasure to be side by side with Stephen Sondheim again tonight as he receives this award. It comes with so much love from all of us that I don't actually think I have the strength to do it on my own. So I'm delighted to say that I'm about to introduce a legendary friend of Steve's to come and share the honors. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Angela Lansbury.
Thank you. What a wonderful night. What a wonderful, wonderful thing to be standing on the stage of the Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, with all of you. Oh, my goodness. It is now my distinct pleasure and great, great pride and deep of affection that I present the Olivier Award to my dear, dear friend, Stephen Sondheim.
Thank you. Cameron warned you, I cry easily. I read in the newspaper that this award was for my contribution to the British Theatre. And I want to talk about the contribution the British Theatre has made to me. Starting with the production of Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which is the first set of good notices I ever got. And going on through such extraordinary productions in no particular order as Richard Jones's production of Into the Woods, and Tim Sheeter's production of Into the Woods, and Sam Mendes' production of Assassins and Company, and Declan Donnellan's production of Sweeney Todd, and John Doyle's production of Sweeney Todd, all the productions at the National, all the productions at the Donmar. I'm so grateful for those. And also for the friendships of the people I have made through the British Theatre, playwrights and performers and directors, Peter Schaffer, Peter Nichols, Jeremy Sams, Judy Mackenzie, Maria Friedman, and above all, Cameron, whose friendship I treasure and who is the best producer I've ever worked with and one of the best people. And on top of all of that, this. Thank you.